Alright, what we have here is a Yamaha Roadstar Warrior gas cap, and I'm going to show you how to take it apart, so if you ever want to rekey it or whatever you got to do. First thing you should know, if this gas cap is not on your gas tank and you stick your key in to actuate it, so you can see it working, you're never going to get your key out. There's a little mechanism in here. I don't know how it works, but it's something to do with the pressure of the gas tank when you put it down and everything else. So to get your key out, you got to take these two bolts. You can just take them loose actually. And then eventually you can get your key out. So then go ahead and continue taking these two bolts off and kind of hold your finger on this tab, on everything here, so nothing springs up. Alright, now you get the screws out, you got to be careful. So keep pressure on this silver tab behind here. It's a washer. And kind of hold this vertical. When you slide this off, this here knob sticking out right here, that is the mechanism that keeps you from pulling your key out. I don't know how it works, but if it falls out, there's also a spring behind it that'll fall out, a little bitty spring. And once it falls out, it's almost impossible to find. Next thing, you take this silver washer off, hold it this way, you take this off. Now you got 4 springs. You take those 4 springs off. Now, on the other side of your gas cap, you have, it looks like this rubber washer that you need to get off. Don't try to pull it out, you'll never get it out. You got another screw right here, you take it off. This is a shorter screw. Once it's off, you just kind of work everything. You kind of press with your thumb here, and you got to get your little screwdriver, do some prying. It's not very easy, but it will, everything will come up. So once you have it to there, that little rubber will just pop off, maybe with the screwdriver. There it goes. Alright, now the tricky part. Here is a rubber washer. It's hard to see. It's a O-ring. And you got to get that O-ring out somehow. So you get it out. Behind it, there's another washer. You can maybe see it move there. The easiest way I found to get it out is just kind of tap like that. Now, up in here, I can never show you this. I'll never get enough light. There's a tab. You got to use a pick. You got to reach up in there and press this tab in. And you'll know the tab is pressed in because when it is, you can easily push on the cylinder and it'll come out the front. This here is that tab I was telling you about. And you want to be careful. These are your key, I don't know what they call them exactly, but pins they call them. And if they fall out, again, there's little springs behind them. But this is that tab I'm telling you about. It's got to be depressed. So now to put it all back together, it's just the opposite. You put this in. You got to depress that tab. Slide in. You got your steel washer, rubber washer. Just kind of tap it down in there. On the front side, you take your seal here, put it on. Now you get your gas cap, and this part here is a real pain. There's not really a good way to do it. You're just trying to slide this on here, and you just work it back and forth, and as you do, your rubber around the grommet will work up in that hole and it'll seal itself. There you can see how it's worked up in there. Then you take your little short screw, put it here, tighten it down. Next you need your 4 springs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this piece, then your washer. Now here's the tricky part. You kind of got to hold all this down while you slide that on. Hold it down and you put your screws back in. Once you get it all in, there you go. You can put your key in and try it, but remember, if you put your key in and try it, you'll have to loosen up these 2 screws. But you want to do that before you put this back in the tank, because if something's all bound up and you put it in the tank and it works once, you're not getting it back out. It's just about impossible. So